Welcome back. We're still coming to you live from the ROC Center, the Results Operations Center here at Gallagher State in Midrand. But we now take you to KwaZulu-Natal, where Ayanda Mhlongo is at the Results Operations Center in KwaZulu-Natal. Ayanda, what do you have for us at this hour about the stream in of results and party leaders that are present at that Results Center?
Oliver, very good afternoon to you and good afternoon to our viewers. Yes, as you're saying, the focus has now shifted to the Results Operating Center here in KwaZulu-Natal, where I can tell you it has been extremely busy from this morning with, of course, the representatives of the political parties now making their way here. And it has been fixated on that results board. That is where people have, of course, been standing, closely monitoring the results as they've been coming through. And I must say, of course, just reading from some of the facial expressions, some not seeming too happy with the current results, and just to, of course, give you an overview of the results that have come through so far in the province of KwaZulu-Natal. At around, I think, looking at our results board there, Oliver, and the latest briefing that we received from the IEC just before 1 o'clock today, or no, just before 12 o'clock, when the IEC had a briefing with the members of the media, of course, updating us on the process. Now we were at 17% of the votes that had been captured and audited here in the province of KwaZulu-Natal. Of course, we're seeing the MK party leading there. These, we must stress, as we've been saying, Oliver, that these are the preliminary results that have come through. The MK now just under 100,000 votes that have come through. We have the IFP hot on the heels of the ANC, and then, of course, we have the EFF coming in thereafter. So a lot of developments in terms of these results. As I was saying, that many people not expecting the results as they have come through. And joining me now is our political analyst, Professor Bheki Mngomezulu, just to give his sense. He's been here from obviously monitoring the voting with us and monitoring the results as they've been coming through with us. Prof, let me bring you in now. Thank you again for your time. Very interesting, Prof. I'm sitting here, I'm looking at the political party representatives, I'm monitoring, looking at the facial expressions, looking at the results that have been coming through as yet. Just an overview. What are your thoughts?
Thank you very much, Ayanda, for having me. Yeah, it's very interesting. When you looked at the relationship amongst different political parties yesterday, it was cordial, jovial, everybody was happy, but now faces are starting to change. Some for the better, others for the worse, obviously, as you would expect. But it's the nature of politics and it's the nature of elections. Where before the elections, we have many projections, we have many hopes, but not all of those hopes come true. So before the elections, obviously, every party was saying that we are going to the union buildings. And then now reality is gradually starting to sink in, that not everyone will make it to the union buildings. So which means, therefore, that with these preliminary results already in, you can see that things are giving a basically an indication as to what to expect at the end. Some parties will be happy, others not particularly happy, and then obviously the next result will be then to start identifying some of the contributing factors, which will also include blaming the IEC here and there, and then blaming everybody else who was involved except themselves, which is not something that would encourage, because if something goes wrong, all you do is do self-introspection and see where things went wrong, so that when we go to 2026 local government elections, we'll have corrected those mistakes. And
just on that, Prof, we must say that there has been a number of complaints that have come through from the political parties, and the IEC is looking into some of those complaints. And of course, there has been some issues. We know that yesterday, especially towards the closing time of the voting stations, we saw that late surge of voters coming through, which meant that in some of the voting stations, voting effectively only concluded in the early hours of the morning. In fact, we still have about 98 voting stations in the province of KwaZulu-Natal where they are still finalizing the count there. So it's still going to be some time. I see predicting that later on today or even overnight, those final results will probably be coming through, having been captured, and then the auditing process having started. Prof, back to these results results. Front runners ahead of this election, of course, we knew it was going to be the ANC, the IFP in the province of KwaZulu-Natal, the Democratic Alliance and the EFF. MK Party, former President Jacob Zuma announcing his MK Party in December. Obviously, we started to see it take shape, basically. What we are seeing now with the MK Party, we knew that it was going to be some sort of an upset, but did you expect the results that we are seeing?
You know, Ayanda, I'm one of the people who have been vindicated, at least so far. I don't know how things will end, but so far I've been vindicated because I'm on record saying that in KwaZulu-Natal, as things stand at the moment, given the history of the province, given the elections 2016, 2019, 2021, you could tell that the ANC was still leading, but then with a reduced majority in each and every election. So there was a sign that come 2024, numbers will go down significantly. In the last election, in local government election in 2021, the ANC got 57%, which was basically too low by its own standard. And then the question is, what has happened between 2021 and 2024? There were certain signs that were already there, factional politics, and a number of other own goals that have been scored by the organization. So this was bound to happen. On the other hand, with the IFP being on the upward trajectory, because when you look at the elections I've just referred to, 2016, 2019, 2021, the IFP has been on the upward trajectory together with the EFF. But with the EFF, the challenge is that in the main, especially in KwaZulu-Natal, the support base seems to be at tertiary institutions. And those students come from different provinces. So during voting time, they don't vote as a bloc. They vote in their respective places, which is why then you see the EFF not doing as good as we would have expected it to do. And then the MK, the emergence of the MK, when people were saying that it's going to upset the ANC, I said they are misreading the situation. The MK party is not only going to upset the ANC, but it's also going to upset the IFP. Because before 16 December 2023, I had already mentioned that KZN province was on the verge of going to the IFP. But with the emergence of MK and with former President Jacob Zuma's charisma, I said this is basically a bad thing for the IFP. And these numbers that are coming in right now, they are confirming that. You will see them leading with the votes that have come in, and then the ANC being pushed down, and then of course the EFF and the IFP. What is surprising is the IFP, because I thought the IFP did a sterling job in preparing for this election, but then of course the results, at least those that have come in, they are not showing the IFP on the upward surge. So but we'll wait and see.
We'll wait and see. Prof, thank you so much. We will be catching up with you, of course, and I'm not alone. I am with my colleague Samgelo Masego here at the Rock in KZN, and we will hopefully to speak to the representatives of the political parties. So much more to speak about, and particularly as the results in KwaZulu-Natal are continuing to come through. But for now, let me hand back to my colleagues Oliver and Unati in Pretoria.